Oh, I think he clearly broke the law. The law says 30 days notice. He didn't give 30 days notice. Now, it is true that he issued a signing statement, but signing statements are not law. Signing statements are the president's opinion about what the law should mean. Now, it may be that the law is unconstitutional, a violation of his power as commander-in-chief, but no court has held that. The law is on the books, and he didn't follow it.
Jeffrey Toobin of CNN, and welcome to Gimme 5, that's obligatory, saying the president clearly broke the law. Jeffrey Toobin saying the president clearly broke the law. So Jay Carney goes on with Matt Lauer yesterday on Today. Yesterday's Today, not tomorrow, and not today's Today. And Matt Lauer put him through the ringer a little bit, I got to say. And Carney, you know, you judge. Watch.
These are guys who were considered at very high risk to launch attacks against the U.S. if they were freed. So has the administration now, though, endangered the lives of all Americans for the safety of one American?
No, Matt. The Secretary of Defense, Chuck Hagel, and the National Security Team made a determination that because of the mitigation that we can engage in with a third country cutter, that we believe this is not a security threat to the United States, and that there's sufficient mitigation to be comfortable with the transfer of those detainees to Qatar.
It's not a security threat to the United States. Chuck Hagel made that determination. Oh. Now we could rest easy. No. How can it be a security threat to the United States? The president himself today in Poland said that these guys might return to terror. But it's not a security threat to the United States. Chuck Hagel made that determination. Again. All right, more.
You talk about the talks were held with officials in Qatar. However, you knew that the release would be on the part of the Taliban. Is this semantics here, Jay? Are we calling it a prisoner swap when in fact it is negotiating with terrorists?
We've made clear for years, Matt, that we would aggressively engage in an effort to recover Sergeant Bergdahl. That's what we do when our men and women are held as prisoners of war. And you know that direct talks with the Taliban broke down in 2012, and they have not resumed. But we've made every effort we could in order to secure his release, and we're extremely gratified that after 5 years he's now safe and beginning the process of reintegration into the United States.
All right, by the way, Matt, he was not released by the Taliban. He was not held by the Taliban. He was held by the Haqqani Network, a tried and true hardcore terrorist group, and we know that. So it's not the Taliban who, if you want to claim, you know, the administration wants to claim we were at war with the Taliban, which, by the way, I've heard there were good Taliban and bad Taliban. So which Taliban were we at war with? I guess the bad Taliban. They don't throw acid in the face of little girls. What would they do? I don't know. They just throw something that isn't permanently damaging in the face of little girls. But anyway, it was the Haqqani Network that was holding this sergeant, not the Taliban. But shh, truth should not get in the way. More.
But the terrorists are celebrating this, Jay, and in some ways they now know there is a going rate that one American in captivity can win the release of 5 terrorists being held by the United States. Do you worry that that sets a very dangerous precedent?
Well, I caution anyone against buying the propaganda of terrorists, first of all.
It's not the propaganda of terrorists. He said they're celebrating. They are. Now people are worried that terrorists will learn from this. Nobody mentioned propaganda of terrorists. It's common sense, and look at what they're doing. They're celebrating. But Jay Carney doesn't have to address the truth. Here's more.
Secondly, it is absolutely a situation with a long history and precedent where we engage in exchange of prisoners during an armed conflict. Sergeant Bergdahl was in our military, and he was being held by the enemy, and that's a situation where you do everything you can to secure his release, and that's what we did.
All right. Well, it's Jay Carney. What could I tell you? On the Steve Malzberg Show.